22. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Ba'Shem. The warners of the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, peace and salutations to the day. Push out the shoes out the four corners of the earth.
It's the book of Proverbs chapter 30, and I'll start at verse 21. For three things the earth is disquieted, and for which it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. Verse 23. For an odious woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress. So I mean, here in verse 21, we realize, you know, in this earth is disquieted because we have a slave who's actually running the kingdom. Because when you look at the scripture in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given unto the wicked. So, you know, Esau is considered the
wicked nation. You can always go back to Job 9 and 24. Because it clearly tells you who's in charge of the earth today. And you look at it, who's running the earth in this very moment. It's a so-called white man, Edomite. Starting with the elite ruling class. Alright, so a servant is put in rulership by the way of the Hebrew Israelites going away from our Lord and being put on punishment. So now he put a heathen, someone that's not meant to rule, a servant in rulership. Someone that don't have, by default, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, laws, statutes, commandments. Someone that was created to be wicked. So that's who's in rulership, but it's not a proper fit. And it's our punishment to see how the earth is, how it is to not run a kingdom, and how to know how not to run a kingdom, to know how not to run a kingdom. Esau is that perfect example, because everything is upside down, turned around, polluted, and it just ran out of chaos. But we are the ones demonized in the region. We're the ones who are so-called worst thing that could happen. But no, they push that false narrative on us. You got something else?
Yeah, I was going to back up what you were saying.
Yeah, they try to push that false narrative on us through the media, movies, and songs. But in reality, it's this man behind the scenes that's going to this nation and this country, robbing, murdering, stealing. Like it says in John, the thief coming not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that's what he does. Every time he places his foot on soil, that's what he's going to do. He's going to steal your resources, your land. Because he's going to take it by force, steal, kill, and destroy. And that's ultimately what he did to the Latino tribes, especially the tribe of Gad.
Just to further back up what the brother was saying, you in that scripture of Proverbs chapter 21 or 22, it tells you that the earth is disquieted by this man's rulership. So, you know, when you have
look at the trees. We ain't downtown, but you look at the trees is surrounded by damn concrete.
Yeah.
Like, you got bushes, you got the trees, and then all around it, you got hard concrete. You know, it must be grass, dirt, soil, you know? And even with our kingdom, we're going to have precious stones and minerals. They go hand in hand. But this devil, he built his empire off of brick, rock, concrete, a giant cave, a concrete jungle. It ain't no coincidence why New York got that little name for itself, concrete jungle. All them big giant glass buildings, all of that is concrete. Skyscrapers, concrete.
And you know, when you think about it, this whole United States is basically in the spirit of New York. Because when you look down here, where we stay here in Waco, Texas, we're surrounded by nothing but concrete. I mean, yeah, you see a little grass, but the rest of it is what? Solid concrete, which shows you that this man died and dwelled within the cliffs. You know?
Cliffs of the rock, Mount Sear.
Yeah.
It's grass, but the grass is surrounded by concrete. How the hell you got grass, a patch of grass, and then on the outside is concrete?
Everything else is concrete. Exactly.
His infrastructure is rock, brick, stone, not the precious stone, but bricks, rocks, and glass, you know? And that's how you know he dwelled in the cleft of the rock, like his brother said, which is Mount Seir. You know? That's his infrastructure. He made the entire earth a big concrete. And everything he wanted.
Just to further back you up what you were saying. Isaiah chapter 29 and 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that it framed of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Yeah. So, you know, we know that you know, that at the end of the day, this man has turned turned things upside down. Telling you, you know, it's like earlier, I was talking to a classmate of mine. She was saying, at her job, you know, I go in both scenarios. Well, that one ain't important. I just go with the first one. That they're constantly pushing, you know, the transgender and the, you know, alternative lifestyles, you know, and they don't push, you know, man and woman to be together. But this is how Yahweh Hashem Yahushua designed it, that the woman be for the man, not a woman being with a woman or a man being with another man. Man, that's out of order, and that's basically an example of turning things upside down, man. When you believe in those philosophies, man, and this is what this man has done. He's turned things upside down. The Lord set things in a proper order. We're going back all the way back to Adam, because Adam was given the instructions, like Elder Yashawama always brings out. He gave Adam the instructions, and so when he failed, then, you know, it was Abel. But then, you know, Abel, he was slew by Cain, as we read in Genesis, and then he went to Seth, which Seth means compensation. So, I mean, you know, with Seth, he passed it on down to all the other righteous, soon-to-be Israelites, because they were of the righteous seed. At the time, even though they weren't Israelites, but they were of the righteous seed.
Sons of God.
There you go.
And that lineage goes, when you read the book of Matthew, first chapter, that lineage goes all the way from Adam, which was Yahushua in his past life, all the way down to Yahushua.
Yeah.
So he come in that seed, that same seed, all from Adam to Abel, all the way down to the son. Seth. All the way down to the sons of God.
Yeah. You got Enoch. You got the righteous Enoch, and then you got the
wicked Enoch on the Esau side.
Yeah.
But the righteous Enoch.
Yeah. Methuselah. I can't think of Lamech. Then on down to Noah. You know, so Methuselah. Did I say Methuselah? Lamech. I'm sorry. Lamech. And then, on down to Noah. Down from Noah, Abraham. On down to Abraham, Isaac. So there was always, the Lord blessed us. He always made sure that a righteous seed came through, to someone that was righteous when all this other wickedness was filled in the earth. You know what I'm saying? And it was so wicked at one time that Yahweh say, we're going to start over. And
that was the flood.
Yeah, with the flood. Noah, and that was 8 of them. You start over. Then you got the sons of Noah, which were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Yeah. Which Japheth has no say in nothing right now. I don't know why people keep bringing up Japheth. Japheth don't have a say in nothing right now.
Which Japheth go back to the Polynesians, Samoans. Japheth is not Esau.
No.
Japheth is not important. They're
prophecies.
Yeah, they're here, but they're not.
End-time prophecies.
They're not a main role. Just like you got a movie, you got your side characters, and you got the main characters. The main characters, Jacob and Esau.
Exactly.
And then you got the side characters, are the people to fulfill the movie. Just to be there.
Yeah.
Like Elder Yaltazak said, that building gotta follow somebody.
Yeah.
You got main characters, you got side characters. But the Lord always dealt with a certain nation, and even within that nation, He always dealt with a righteous person within it. Like the times of Noah, the sons of God, they were going off. So the Lord said, I'm gonna reset it. That's where you got the flood. And who was that righteous person? He was dealing with Noah.
Noah, exactly.
And through Noah, his family got saved. So even all the nations, the Lord obviously only dealt with a remnant. Yeah. But even within the remnant, He dealt with a certain few.
Yeah. Beginning with Shem.
Yeah.
On down the line,
Although the rest of Israel still His people, but He always dealt with
there was always a righteous seed.
A righteous amongst the righteous.
Yeah, there was always a righteous seed. And you had other righteous ones as well. Like the brother said, they're not mentioned in the Bible, but they were righteous, So, because, at the end of the day, man, we got what we need for now. And then everything else is going to be revealed to us. We knew everything, every detail. Right now, just learning what we're learning now, right now, in the short amount of time that we have, because we know through the Spirit that it's just a matter of time for everything really starts to jump off of me. You already got this thing going on today on the 14th where it's called a King's Protest. Now, the King's Protest means that they're going against, they're likening Trump to a king. And they feel like, that he's not being a president and he's not going along with the laws that were set forth by the so-called forefathers of this country, which, we all know that they've never done that. They've always found the ways, the loopholes to manipulate the laws and statutes that they had made for this country. It's just been even more enhanced with and brought to an attention by this regime, which all these other regimes before Trump come in were just as wicked, when you look at the background of everything, So, but it just right now, he's what we've been talking about here in Isaiah chapter 19 on down, where it talks about that let me get that. And it's so funny, how, because this is the time you can say this is the time we're living in right now. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2, and I will set Egyptian against Egyptians. So we're in the modern time of Egypt, which Egypt means bondage. We have to pay bills. You got some brothers working paycheck to paycheck. You know, your regular Jake out here, he's working paycheck to paycheck. You know, and then you got these you know, these other nations here, and they're all against each other right now. So you got Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, which is failing right now. Things are being exposed. And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, which they've been doing this all along. And the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord. And we believe this cruel lord, you know, in the spirit, if you can receive it, is Donald Trump. And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh, the Lord of hosts. So that's proof right there. You know, the people here that's going out protesting right now, this is the name of the protest. I looked it up before I came over here. Because I want to know exactly what it meant. No King's protest. What does it mean? Okay, hold on.
King's protest. That's been getting thrown around a lot lately too.
And yeah, and it goes back to that sort of show you how the scriptures are so prophetic.
Yeah.
Because now that he wants to liken himself to a king. He's already said that he doesn't want to. People are always saying already that he's the last president, so-called, what have you.
Brothers believe that he was one of them ancient Edomites back then.
Yeah, which we believe he's Nero.
Nero. You said Nero?
Nero.
Nero. Every time Donald Trump gets in office, what happens? Hey, chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Prophecies start unfolding. If you think about it, even when he had that short run from 17 to 20, early 20, or whatever,
yeah.
A lot of stuff was going on.
Yeah.
He had ordered a hit on one of them top General General Albani or whatever his name was. All right, people saying World War III is gonna pop off. You know, when Biden got in office, everything was just calm. Nothing was going on.
But that fan agenda was pushing with oh my goodness, what do you call it? The transformation movement. That was on the rise. Now Trump came back in office and said, hey, we're not having no transformers. You can't join the army and then try to say you want to change yourself with your sex and all this kind of mess that they had that these Democrats were pushing.
And that's
so he cleaned all that out.
You could kind of like Donald Trump, bro, because he's like entertaining and stuff he say. He's like one of them. I can't explain it. One of them Edomites, he was somewhat like, but you still know they a damn snake. You still know they a damn snake.
It's like what Elder Apostle Ricard said. It would be better that he be in office than the one that ran against him, the Democrat that ran against him. So, and it was better anyway, But the No Kings protest day,
Bring it out.
okay, are a series of demonstrations being organized June the 14th, 2025 on the day of the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary parade and the 79th birthday of U.S. President Donald Trump. So he's 78 years old, and they're celebrating 250 years of the U.S. Army, which basically You know, they love death because when you're celebrating the anniversary, and these people are known to do that.
You got the second phone?
Oh yeah. And the 79th birthday of U.S. President Donald Trump in protest of Trump's policies and actions during the second presidency. And then you hear brothers all the time say that he this time he came back in office, he's worse than he was the first time. So they're saying this is Donald Trump 2.0, you know. And he's cut off a lot of things, you know. He's cut off funding for the college fund. You know, people are always talking about going to college and things like that. So what you're going to do is going to make it even more complicated and more harder for people to go to college. Which, you know, that ain't nothing but being indoctrinated into, you know, into the system. You're not really learning anything, you know. But yeah, it's just an indoctrination, you know. But yeah, they glorify, but it shows you by them, they glorify the army, which basically shows you that Esau glorifies death, man. Think about it, you know. And then, like I say, going back to the scripture, a cruel Lord, and it also brought out a king. Let me get that again. Verse 4 of Isaiah chapter 19. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord and a fierce king. And this is what he thinks of himself. He likens himself to a king. And shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the Lord of hosts. And you got to understand that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is in the amongst of rulership, of men that rule, you know. Just to back that up, let's go here. But you know what I'm thinking about. Sirach. Sirach chapter 10. Yeah, there you go. Sirach chapter 10, and I'll start here in verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So, you know, we don't see that right now. We don't have a wise judge amongst us right now. So we don't have a prudent man. As the judge of the people is himself, so are the officers. Yeah, so if the judge is not corrupt, then guess what? The officers won't be corrupt. On down from the officers, you got the people. The people won't be corrupt. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And the manner of man, the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Yep. So if he's not, you know, a wicked person, you know, on down to the officers are not going to be wicked. The people are not going to be wicked. And that's really basically talking about the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, with that
righteous nation.
Yeah, well, beginning with Yahushai, because Yahushai is going to be the king, and then on down you have King David. So that'll be a righteous rulership. But the point here is in verse 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and in the due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And so we're not in one that's profitable right now, brother.
We're in one that's unprofitable. As you can see, the way the world is ran now, Satan being highly promoted and highly pushed, and the agendas that's being pushed out, like you said, the Transformer, the Moism. Right now, we are in the month of June, which is a made-up holiday. Pride. It ain't even a holiday. It's a whole month. Pride month. You know, they took the rainbow. They made it a sodomite symbol. Like you said, they take what Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave us, his righteousness, and flip it and turn it to wickedness by doing the exact opposite. So Evil is seen as good in this world, and good is seen as evil in this world. So the unprofitable man that's not fit to rule, that's the one that's ruling, the servant. He ain't meant to be a ruler. He's meant to be a servant. He needed to be showed how to rule. The same man that was taught how to bathe, how to wash himself, how to walk upright, how to shave his hair, his fur off his body, how to give a proper speech. That's the man that's ruling over you now. That's telling you how to run your household, where you could teach your kids. He's telling you that your woman is supposed to be ruling over you. He's taking the fathers out of the household and broken up the house of Judah. All right, that's the man that's unprofitable. That's the guy that you are working for in your 9-to-5 jobs and got a slave and call boss and be there at a certain time or you will get rolled up and in and out. That's who you are making your wage a slave for. This so-called white man, the Edomites. That's who's ruling. He got his hand in the whole world. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. 441, call on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Alright, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He was given the fatness of the earth. And in the end days, that's who's ruling. The so-called white man. He's the only nation that ever had the fatness of the earth. All these other nations had specklements of rulerships, different towns, cities, countries, or whatever, but not the whole entire world. This man is dibbling, dabbling, bullying these other nations. And that's how we know he is in a rulership. And he has the children of Israel in his possessions, the Lord's precious jewels, particularly the elect. That goes into 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. 6th or 8th chapter goes to show you. Alright? And these other nations, they weren't meant to rule. You know, you see the wicked stuff Ishmael be doing. All the defecating on each other. You know, Ham. Ishmael do it too.
Oh, okay.
Have these women fly out over there and they just defecate on each other. And so they're filthy heathens. And that's who's in rulership. The unprofitable man, Esau. And these other nations, they got their own form of rulership too. They over us. You know?
See, what makes the nation of Israel special is, first and foremost, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai chosen the nation of Israel to be a special people unto him. When you look in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6, second of all, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gave us laws and statutes to live by. And when you start, learning and applying these laws and statutes, you become a better man, you become a better servant unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. See, these other nations, they weren't given them. So, this is the difference between and that's basically, that's it. We got Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and he's with us. His people are the nation of Israel. We were given the laws and the statutes. The other nations, they didn't know these laws and statutes, They weren't, because they weren't given to them. When you look in Psalms chapter 147, 19 through 20, it'll tell you that. All the laws and statutes for the nation of Israel. You're the only nation that I've ever known. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So Esau is a profane man. And the scripture came to my mind when the brother started bringing out about what this man has done with the rainbow. So that shows you right there when you can make it, when you profane it and make it into something wicked as promoting an ulterior lifestyle that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai condemns and regards as an abomination, you know, that tells you that this man is a heathen, and he's a profane person, man. Which profane means unholy, you know.
And a mass fornicator, because look what he's doing with the Pride Month in June.
Yeah.
In our holy land, a whole bunch of grown, hairy men walking around with rainbow thongs, dancing and twerking and kissing each other and doing a whole bunch of fornication in our holy land.
As you see it through the spirit, why? I say this all the time, I'm sure I'm going to say it too. This is one of many things, many things why Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has to destroy, you know, take these people out of rulership, you know, and ultimately destroy Esau, man. Because when you think about all the things that this man has done to go the opposite of what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is saying. Here you got the holy land that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua chose for the nation of Israel, the real Israelites, and you made it a mockery by pushing that you know, nasty agenda, you know, which is an ulterior lifestyle. You know, and this goes against what the Heavenly Father and the Son stand for, you know. So this man has to be taken out of rulership. And I want to back the brother up here. The brother brought out an interesting point. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Read it back.
Okay, let's stop. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Okay, so that's what happens in this world. They put good for evil, evil for good, bitter for sweet, sweet for bitter. So if you try to speak out about these things that's promoted and pushed in this wicked world, you get deemed as the one that's going off, the one that's being wicked. If a man say he don't want his child learning about same-sex marriage and Moism in elementary school, and participating in they had this thing where they have a man come to the school and he be dressed all weird like a woman with makeup. If a man say he don't want his child to be amongst that, he the one that gets everybody, especially the women.
Yeah, because you know, like the scripture says, no wickedness like the wickedness of a woman. So, and she's the main one that'll back, you know, that'll be behind it, you know. You got some men, you know, that's out here that's, you know, that ain't with that, you know, and they're not doing the work that we're doing in truth and sincerity or anything like that, but they know that that ain't right, man, you know, and they don't want, you know, their kids to be a part of it.
Because it's wicked.
Yeah.
And a kid is like a sponge. That's how, like it says, train up a child the way he may go. So the best form of learning is when it's a child, when they're young. You see, in sports, they always start off when they're young, for the most.
Yeah. You think of anything.
Football, basketball, baseball, boxing. Because you got time to learn the fundamentals. And you grow up, you'll be a professional.
Yeah.
You grow up to be a beast. Now they train these children young to indulge in wickedness, and now you got a little 8-year-old boy. Oh, I want my penis cut off. I want to be a girl.
Yeah.
And he haven't even experienced sex or his first
Yeah.
kiss or nothing. He's not even old enough to make his own decisions. But you telling them that it's okay for them deciding what gender they want to be. It's going on.
It goes back to what Esau's done because he knows if he can take the man, especially the Israelite man, because let's face it, let's focus on the Israelite man.
What did Herod do? Go ahead.
Oh, well, Herod, he wanted to kill all the firstborn.
Yep. Especially Yahushua.
Yeah. Because he was looking for Yahushua because he knew Yahushua was special.
And even back in the days of Egypt with Moses, what did the Pharaoh want to do? He wanted all of the boys to be killed. So if he could get all of these young boys to be like, I want to be a girl, like Dwayne Wade's son.
Magic Johnson.
They want the rod cut off.
Yeah.
Boom. That's another form of way of killing us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, this is part of why.
Now you was like, be real. What man something you was about to say? You said something.
I lost my train of thought.
You said, what man?
It'll come back to it. But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, this is really going against the Israelites because see, Esau knows we were given laws. We were given laws and statutes, and it took the woman. You know, the woman is over the household. So when you got the woman over the household, you got someone that's overly emotional. Because let's face it, these women have like the scriptures tell you in Sirach, they have freedom to get abroad. You know, they have that kind of freedom. So even with in their household, they have the freedom to raise their boys like they want to. And that's why a lot of these boys come up effeminate because there's no guidance in the household. You have no man in there. So the boy doesn't get to see how how to interact with a woman. He doesn't know how to become a man because he has no guidance. He's not given no guidance. The woman can't show him how to be no man. I don't care what I've heard women say stupid stuff, like, I'm gonna be the daddy and the mama. That's stupid because, a lot of you women don't even know how to be women. You're females, but you don't know how to be women, So, and this is why you don't have a man in your household.
Let alone bathe properly.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of women don't even have good hygiene.
Oh my goodness.
Then they want to blame the man for the pH balance. But in reality, it's for you sleep with multiple men.
Yeah, it's a combination of three things. What the brother said, number one, sleeping around with other men. Number two, not proper hygiene, not properly bathing. A lot of these women taking showers, like the brother brought out. I remember when I first met this brother, this is one of the things I learned from the brother. And it makes sense, and it resonated with me. So, because these women, that's what they do. They rather take a shower. They rather not bathe, like what a woman should bathe. When I mean bathe, I mean get in a tub of water. And not only just be in a tub of water, you have different things that you should be using. Lavender oil, for one that come to mind. What is another one? There's essential oils that a woman can use.
Jasmine.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Jasmine.
Got Egyptian rose. Citrus.
All the peppermint oil. A little bit of peppermint oil.
Strawberry.
Things of that. Yeah. But see, these women don't do that because we live in a place where everything is hurry up.
It's Japanese rose. I said Egyptian rose. Japanese rose, and jasmine. Those two smell sweet.
Yeah. But see, these women, they don't bathe in that, bro. They don't do that. You know what? I'll send that to you later on if I think about it a little bit. Because I looked that up. right after we got to going into it, because that really was on my spirit, and this was several years back when we met, and I looked up what women could do to bathe, what they should bathe in, and there's essential oils for that.
Do a video on that. Video on that. And
good. That we probably do a better job at it. Yeah, I think you can do it better. Cause bro, I learned it from you, so I mean.
What, you got an article?
I looked it up online about the essential oils that a woman should be.
Send that article to me.
Okay.
I'll put a visual with it too.
Yeah. So yeah, you did a good job, cause hell, you taught me on that. Cause I didn't even think about it. Cause other than when I heard what the brother was saying, I'm like, man, that does resonate with the spirit, because a woman should be bathed. Because when you think about her vagina, the water don't go inside of you when you're taking a shower. You know, it's all outside. And women are internal creatures and we're external creatures, you know? Women have to bathe constantly. Men could go a day or two without bathing, you know? If he ain't sweating, you know, all that, but yeah. You know, but a woman, nah, she can't do that, man. A woman gotta constantly keep herself up, man. But see, these women, they don't do that. They'll just take a shower and, oh, I'm good, you know? So let's go back to what we were saying. You got you got women, you know, being promiscuous, sleeping around. You got poor hygiene, because a lot of these women don't properly bathe. And you know, I remember one time I was telling my ex, because she was talking about this woman, you know, that her daughters, they all went to school together, and they used to always talk about how she used to smell. And she was like, oh, well, she went and got I forgot what they call it. She got some kind of removal or something. And she's like, well, you know, she don't smell like that no more. I said, well, the reason why she was smelling like that was because most likely she wasn't properly bathed or using the proper tools to bathe with. No, that come from her husband sleeping around with her ex-husband sleeping around with other men. So, you know, and I realized that scripture. No, I didn't. I just said, you know, it's up to myself. Let a fool be a fool.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back and forth with her. I just let it go.
And it's a known fact. You could look it up on Google. People love Google so much. You could look it up. A woman, pH balance will actually get thrown off by her sleeping with multiple partners, because those different sperm cells are in her womb literally battling. And that's where they get the mood swings and stuff from. And all them different sperm cells up in there, that's what caused the smell. Plus the bad diet, all that nasty seafood they be eating. Which seafood is not wicked, it's just what you consume out of the seafood. Because like, you're not supposed to be eating shrimp, crab, lobsters, and oysters and all that, because those are bottom feeders. You're not supposed to eat the bottom feeders of the sea. The Lord said we are allowed to eat whatever has both fins and scales. And He gave us that rule, that guideline, for a reason. It's for our benefit for our bodies. But Jake, once again, go back to Esau. What did Esau do? He put all these bottom feeders, the creatures that eat the freaking bacteria, the shit that come out of the other fishes, basically that's supposed to filter the ocean, they're supposed to clean the ocean. They put this in as a delicacy in these high-end restaurants. And Eve, they love that. They like to go up there, try to put on their little tight-ass dress, try to look all cute, thinking they about to get a good meal. Whole time they eating bottom feeders. That's not beneficial to your body, you know? And that's what caused that bad smell. And then you got the simp or the naive Jacob that's taking them out on these dates, spending all that money, $500, $200 on food that's not even lawful for you to eat.
Yeah.
So you don't, not only you waste your money, but you spend all that money on stuff that's not beneficial for your body.
Yeah.
That's doing harm to your body. down the long run.
And most importantly, above all, you're bringing reproach on Yahweh Shem Yahweh's name, you Israelites who are doing this, because at the end of the day, the law, being the Israelites, we were given the laws and statutes, which these, that's what we were given. This is what makes Israel stand out. They were given the laws and statutes. There's no, but you have learned the ways of the heathen, as Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2 say, you learn not the ways of the heathen. And that's what Jake has done, man. I put out catfish because these women love catfish, bro. Matter of fact, my schoolmate was talking about that.
You look at a damn catfish, they don't even look like something you would want to eat.
Well, see, when you start understanding
Big
the laws
things
and statutes of Yahweh Shem Yahweh, because I ain't gonna lie, I was guilty of that. I used to eat me some catfish too,
now,
every time you see it. But now you do it, it's like you have great regret because you understand.
Having that spiritual eye, you can just look at these creatures and animals and be like, you ain't even supposed to be eating that. Physically look at a catfish, it looks disgusting. It don't even look like something you would want to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially that one, the other Pastor Hart had in his thumbnail. He had all the things poking out. It looked disgusting.
Yeah.
But Jake,
it should be disgusting to us, you know what I'm saying?
Jake could eat a squirrel.
Yeah, a rabbit too. So at the end of the day,
a horse,
snake.
A damn snake. How you find a snake? How you look at a snake and be yummy?
Mm-hmm.
No.
But that's Jake, man.
A damn crocodile. Jake eats crocodiles now.
Mm-hmm. I know I was looking at that show Discovery, and called Naked and Afraid, and these Edomites were eating something that wasn't, what the hell was it eating? Oh, it was a turtle or something. But it just shows you, man, how committed they are in the thinking, man.
Jake think, they could season anything down real good and it'll taste good, no matter what animal it is. That's what it is.
I realize that it's an abomination.
And even if it do taste good, it's not good for your body. Because you gonna feel them effects when you get older, when your legs start swelling with pus, and you can't put on a damn pair of socks because your feet this damn big, and you gotta take 30 damn pills a day, and you gotta take your blood sugar, blood pressure, put on a tight ass thing, and take your blood pressure, squeezing your arm every day, taking insulin shots, have to poke your damn finger, drop blood out, squeezing it like this, having to stick yourself in the stomach. Once you get in them ages, you're gonna start feeling them effects from eating the shit you're not supposed to be eating. Cause all it's doing is tearing on your body. But Jake thinks just cause it tastes good, getting all fat, 500 pounds, 300 pounds plus, Jake thinks just cause it tastes good, it's good for you.
There's a saying I remember hearing all the time when I was growing up. Everything that looks good is not always good.
Bro, my granddad squeezed his damn finger so much, taking his blood sugar, that he didn't even have no more blood in his finger. His finger looked like a shriveled up grape. Wow. And he had to do it from the other finger. Bro, I know, because I've been around
it. Yeah, you've been around it, so you saw it first.
I used to have to take his insulin shot, bro.
But that was the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh warning you and showing you. See, everything, you probably didn't see it in the spirit then because the Lord was working with us. But then I remember, back in the day, this woman, I remember her, she would get a one right there in her stomach every morning. She'd have to take an insulin shot in her stomach. So, and I used to see it, and I'm saying to myself, I can't see myself sticking myself, by the grace of Yahweh Shem Yahweh having mercy on me. I ain't had to do that, But a lot of Jakes, they do that, man. Matter of fact, let me pull out that scripture that I just quoted.
And all of this is from being under the rulership of so-called white man. It goes all the way back to the problem. Jake is a problem. Esau is the problem.
earlier when we was reading earlier, that becoming when you have a slave in rulership. So we have a slave that's in rulership, and he's teaching the people to eat abominable foods. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. And not only just abominable foods, but all things that go against the statutes, the laws and statutes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua had established for the nation of Israel. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Yeah, so, the nation of Israel have learned the ways of the heathen. This is why they'll sit around and eat catfish, or eat oysters, shrimp.
And
I was guilty of eating all that, man. I ain't gonna lie, I used to eat all that stuff. Ooh, and scallops.
When I was young, I used to look at the shrimp.
And that's the first thing a child will eat a lot of times, and he's willing to eat. He'll eat that before he eat fish. He'll eat shrimp.
And they'll have like a little black strand down the back.
That's that vein.
Yeah. I thought it was shit, but yeah.
And it could have been. Yeah, it could have been there too.
It looked like it.
Probably was, bro. Probably right. They always say the vein in it, but it could have been poop. Who's know?
I always thought it was shit.
But yeah, it probably was species.
This Edomite, he did a little experiment. He had a dirty fish tank, and he put a whole bunch of oysters in there. He put about 6, 7 oysters in there, and he went in the house for a day and came back outside. Before, the water was green. When he came outside, that water was clear. You could see right through it. And that goes to show you, that's what the Lord put those creatures in the water for, to cleanse. Bottom feeders, to cleanse, not to consume, to eat. The Lord specifically made creatures that we can eat, which are clean and beneficial to our body, and creatures that we cannot eat. And Jake, dumb ass, just don't get it through his thick ass head. You tell him that he can't eat chicken, he wanna say, I messed up. You tell Jake that we can't eat a pig, which is the most filthiest animal on the earth, and he wanna say we are allowed to eat birds. Birds are bottom feeders too, but no, you got birds that you can eat that are clean, and you got birds that you cannot eat, which are vultures, eagles, hawks, ducks. That's what you can't eat. But you got birds like quail, the chicken, and hen that are clean to consume. You got good fowls and you got bad fowls. And that's all in Leviticus 11.
Yeah, exactly.
But a nigga can't get it. He wanna play stupid mind tricks and games. That's how a nigga mind works. Like, you say you can't do one thing, he be like, oh, what about this? Or what about that?
Because basically what Jake wants to do is
justify his wickedness.
Like the water.
Justify it. And start talking about some other shit. Like, nigga, no, you can't eat this. You eat a pig, whatever, pigs are the most nasty animals on earth. They got pus, grease, stuff in their hearts. They got all type of parasites. They eat anything. They're a walking garbage disposal.
Exactly. But the Lord made them that way.
Yeah, for a reason. Because they're supposed to clean the earth. And Jake throw some damn seasoning on it, eating pig ass, pig feet, pig tongue, pig testicles, bacon, the shit out of the pig, literally, the chitlins. Jake eat all of that and they say it's good. Then when they get about 30, 40, and now even younger now, they start catching up to their ass.
Hypertension.
Gout, diabetes, legs and thighs swelling up. Jake freaking, like I said, you got to do all this different shots, high cholesterol, your damn heart. You can't even breathe right because you about to pass out. Cause you got all that damn stuff around your heart, you know?
It show you how wicked they are. Like today, my friend was like, I got me some rib ends. You know, I'm gonna give you one, let you try it out. And I say, nah. Using spiritual knowledge, behind the scenes. I said no because it would run my blood pressure up, which I know is real. I'm not telling no lie. I didn't want to go all the way into it because, you know, Jake just ain't gonna get it. So a lot of times you just have to keep it simple and just say, hey, you know, I'll run my blood pressure up. And you say, well, one shouldn't do it. I said, I don't even want to risk one. So it just shows you sometimes how wicked Jake is, but Jake will still try to justify being wicked. Tell you, hey, yo, one ain't gonna hurt you. Well, shit, one is enough. You know, just like with these women, if a woman sleeps with more than more than one man, that's one too many. You know, Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said we will not walk therein, and that's the thing with Jake. Jake don't want to take heed. He rather go on ahead and keep on, you know, eating the pork ribs and
pork rinds.
You know, risk being diabetic. Risk having a stroke. You know, walking around there with a stroke and your face looks like this up, you know. I mean, you know, and you know what, bro? Yesterday, when I was at work, there was an Edomite that went to school with Jim Jones, right? And so, Salaki, it was an Iscarite, big old Iscarite. Now his mom, she used to come up there back in the day. She passed on, but he's up there and he's big as hell. He wants some nasty ass livers, you know, some abominable food. I can say it like this. And so he I'm looking at him. I'm seeing him going back to the car after he got his food, and I'm looking at his face, and it's like one side is up and the other side down. And he went to school with Jim Jones, so I was asking him. I said, hey, you know, did he have a stroke or something? You know. Now sometimes, you know, with that, I forgot what they call it, but it could be something else. It might not be, but you know, Jake is prone to have strokes. So, you know, I was like, what the hell? You know, he have a stroke. And he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It looked like he had. Because, I mean, like I say, his one side of his mouth was up this way and the other part was down. You know, it's like his face was drooping.
If his face like that, yeah, he had a stroke.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens, and then your speech starts slurring.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that's what happened because the Jake is already overweight. You know what I mean? I mean, he is morbidly, you know, I know I'm a big guy, but I mean, this guy, he is really, I know he got to be pushing over 40. Got to be. And I mean, he's morbidly obese, man. So I'm like, good grief, man. You know? So, this show you, man, you know, people just don't care, man.
You said his face was upside down.
Oh, now what about this? Okay. Now the brothers in the chat, I don't know if you saw that in the chat, but it was a guy, he was doing a video of this woman, and this woman, I know she got to be close to 1,000 pounds or more. And she can't even take a bath, man, so he has to, you know, spray her with a spray bottle clean. And it was her husband. Yeah, man. I mean, she was pretty much naked. She had a towel, you know, to cover her breast or whatever. And he was back there, you know, spraying her butt, her back, and all that, man. And, I mean, she's sitting there just.
Did he have to like spread?
No, he couldn't spread her no way because she can't get up. And see, when they had to take her to the hospital, they had to take the door off in order to take her to the hospital. So, I mean, it just shows you, and really when a person allows himself to get that big, man, that's why I'm like what the brother was saying the other day, the brother I listened to all the time, Kansas City Prophets. He said, public shaming ought to come back, you know, where we publicly shame people for making decisions that they make, especially someone that let themselves get that morbidly obese, man. I mean, and then, you know, you got the Learning Channel. and I know you're familiar with the Learning Channel. They on the Learning Channel, you got they got women. They had Jake on there, some Eves on there, so-called black women. I mean, I don't even know if you want to call them Big Shirleys, because they were beyond Big Shirleys, bro. I mean, it's like they was out there, bro. And it was like, man, they gotta be. That's a hell of a demon to have on you to allow yourself to get that goddamn big, man. My God, grief, man. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. I know ain't nobody gonna be Charles Atlas out here or anything, but I mean, you do it the best you can, what have you, know what I'm saying? You know, you have brothers bigger than others, what have you, You got some brothers, they
My God.
slim and trim, what have you.
I'm just thinking about it.
But it's all a curse. But you allow yourself to get that man, you got a hell of a demon on you, bro.
Yeah, that's a demon. A glutton demon. Get some precept, bro.
Okay.
God, you didn't put all type of thoughts in my mind.
Yeah.
Just imagine him scrubbing all the folds.
You can see it was on the chat, man. I tripped out. I was like, okay, let me say it again. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. So I mean, a perfect example of it is these people like that who allow themselves to get so morbidly obese, man. And it goes beyond just eating disorders. You got people who just don't want to follow the laws and statutes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. And when you don't, you see all the great, the bad things that's happening to the Lord's people, because they don't want to follow go back to go back in the old paths, which is the laws and statutes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. So now, we're in the time of the end, so you have the prophets who are no longer, being put in a corner, and they're speaking out, letting Israel know where they need to be, where they need to go. This is the correct way to go. This is, let me see if I can get there real quick. Scripture, Lord gives you the bread of adversity.
Bread of adversity. Isaiah 30 and 20.
Okay, that's what I'm all over. I knew it was in Isaiah. I just went all around it. See, we got the prophets out here now telling you, giving you the right direction to go, man. So it's best to take heed. Isaiah 30 and 20. And though the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore. And who are the teachers? Those are beginning with the elder apostles, our elder apostles on down, as well as the beloved brother and myself. We go out here on the highways and the hedges, and we try to teach those who have an ear, and it goes beyond just the ear. It's a spiritual ear to adhere to what's being said. Yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore. So your teachers are out here now. But thy eyes shall see thy teachers. And we see us out here right now on the highways and the hedges. You see our elder apostles up there in New York. They're doing it. You You see our beloved brothers up there in GMS Dallas. They do it every Friday night. They got the brothers are out there Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
3
So
days a week.
yeah,
What classes
so
coming out?
yeah, and you got classes on Saturdays. So
Damn, I ain't know.
yeah, they got class. They do classes on Thursdays, on Saturdays, and you got class on Sundays. You know,
I
so
didn't even know that.
but you know about the Sunday class, but the Saturday class, you know, they have those too.
That's
You know, with Elder Yashua. So yeah. And verse 21, and thy ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. Yeah. So you have your elders, and you know, you have your elder apostles on down to your teachers telling you the correct way to go. You know? Because, you know, if we keep going the way that we're going, we're all gonna be destroyed, man.
Yeah.
So the path that we were all on before we came into this truth and knowledge was on the path of destruction. And even now, you know, we're hoping for mercy. We're hoping that, you know, that we're of the chosen. That goes back into Ecclesiastes chapter Ephesians chapter 1. I believe it's in 4 and 5. You know, those who were chosen before the beginnings of the earth. The Lord willing with those men, you know, beginning with our elder apostles, you know. So yeah, man, you know. So you have your teachers out here telling you, hey, you know, stop eating that. Don't eat catfish. Don't be eating pork chops. You know, we have a diet that's conducive for us. See, these other nations, they weren't given those laws. That's why they can eat all that stuff and live to be 100, you know. But it wasn't meant for Jake to eat all that stuff, man. This is why you know, when you think about it, Jake is the one that's dealing with hypertension. You know, you Edomites, they ain't really too much dealing with that too much, you know. I mean, there's some that do, but for the most part, who is it heavily involved? Jake.
It's like shaving. Whenever Jake shaves, he get nasty hair bumps.
Yeah.
And white, not bumps, razor bumps. And our skin break out with white pus and all that. Well, you see a Edomite shave or heathen, and it won't be nothing there. Just a smooth, naked ass face.
Yep.
As soon as Jake starts shaving, our face break out. Because we ain't meant to be doing that.
No.
Meant to have beards, facial hair.
Yeah. Our leader, Ibar, he did a hell of a video about that not too long ago, showing some of these guys, and I ain't gonna lie, I was in that situation too, man. We used to have them razor bumps real bad, and stuff like that, and also had that, I forgot what they call it back here, but I had that because I was being rebellious and getting the razor on my head back in the day. And as a result, I got they call keloids. But, you know, through the grace of God, by Shimmy outside, I don't have that problem no more because, you know, I don't no longer use to put a razor on my head, which my grandfather, when he used to take me to the barbershop years ago, I mean, like when I was, you know, when I as old as I can remember, when my father didn't take me, my grandfather would take me to get it. And he would always tell the barber, you know, just use the clippers. Don't use no razor on his head. His head is sensitive to razors. But then I got rebellious. And you know how Jake is. You get to high school. You know, you want your hair a certain way. You want it all, man. And which the Lord still gave me a big judgment because the guy I was going to get my hair done, he had my points up. My points all off like that. And I look back at it with a spiritual eye, and I'm like, that was Yahweh Shimmy outside punishing me for that. You know, had my points up looking like this. My points would be off, like my points would be off. It'd be up like this, and this would up like that.
How the hell he do that? He must couldn't see.
Yeah, he was an older guy, but And he was a good friend of my dad's. And a lot of times we would go there because my dad would be in a hurry. And the best guy that could cut her, he, you know, of course, he had all the people. There was 2 guys, there was 4 barbers. 3 of them were good. And the other guy, he was a good friend of my dad. He used to go fishing with my dad. And so daddy would go over there and get his hair done, and he messed up my dad's head too. I think a couple of times he messed my dad's head up. He didn't, I don't know, I guess he didn't care. I don't know. But I started, you know, when you get to high school and stuff like that, junior high, whatever, you start getting a little sensitive about that because you know how Jake is. Jake love to, you know, critique, you know.
Roast the fuck
Yeah,
out of you.
yeah, you know it. You know it. See, ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. You know. So
Talking about some critique.
yeah, that's exactly, yeah, I'm gonna go on, yeah, you're right, roast you. We call it high side and they call it roasting, but it's the same thing, man. At the end of the day, you know, Jay gonna you know, talk about you know what I mean? And so you know, my points would be off and I look back at it from a spiritual angle, and I said, that's the punishment from Yahweh Hashem outside, because that's not what he wanted me to do. He didn't make it for me to have my, you know, my points and all that shaped up like that, you know? And I look back at it and I laugh now, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I was off, you know, I deserved that, you know what I'm saying? But fortunately for me, Yahweh Hashem outside just did that to me because it could have been a whole lot worse, you know? But yeah, you know, look at it from a spiritual angle, it's like, you know?
Okay,
No.
with that, we're going to close out. Lord willing, this is edifying. We're going to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh by Hashem, Give honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. We're going to close out and say shalom.
Shalom.